Shalom, friends. This is just a quick insight, just a few thoughts that I've been thinking with life and everything, and work and things that happen. Right now, I can take my family to the Philippines. I can buy a little house in a secluded area with a rice field, isolate myself from annoying people. For example, co-workers who disrespect me and belittle me, bill collectors, neighbors, the work, slaving every day. I can have an early retirement, master the study of Torah every day, day and night, become a holy sage and have a long beard, right? But I stop and think, all these negative things are coming from God himself to test me, right? It's not so much the annoying coworker that's doing it. God is using him as a tool. I can either snap and turn into the old me, or I can overcome the other side of darkness, humble myself and walk away. Let go and let God, as they say. Usually the negativity we see in other people is a reflection of ourselves in some way or another. God is showing us a negative trait in them that we might have as well. So our purpose in this world is to overcome our evil inclination and harness its power for holiness instead, transforming it and to cling to the Creator. As we can't really do that if we're living like monks in the mountains in some faraway land. We can't love our neighbor as ourselves, and we can't be an example. The Rebbe asked once, why is the heart of the human being on the left side? Everything good in Judaism is on the right side, the side which represents kindness. We put on tefillin, the prayer box, with the right hand. We shake hands with the right hand. We hold the Torah scroll in our right side, on the right hand. The Torah says that God extends his right hand, and he protects us and shields us with his right arm. So why is the heart on the left, right? And then he said this answer, because when you face another Jew, your heart is opposite his right side and his right hand. For your heart beats not for you, but for the other, for the fellow whom you must love as yourself. So we can understand now that the message of Ve'ahavta l'recha kamoka, love your neighbor as yourself, is to make your heart beat for others, to make your life centered on the needs of others. So when you do that, then your heart is in the right side. So we can master the Bible academically, we can become a holy sage, but it means nothing without application. I fail a lot. While people point their fingers and always talk about it, the difference is I'm aware of my flaws and I know I need to fix them. While they gossip, I'm slowly changing for the good. When we realize that everything comes from God and admit it and let him, right? Let him empower you, because you can't do it without him. And you end up fearing no one but the one. Everything really comes together. So when your life gets crazy, here's another analogy to remember. If you collect 100 black ants and 100 fire ants and put them in a glass jar, nothing will happen. Nothing will happen in the jar. But if you shake the jar violently and leave it on the table, the ants will start attacking each other, right? The reds believe that the black is the enemy, while the black believes that the red is the enemy. But it's because they got shook. Now, who shakes our world sometimes? None other but the Creator of the universe. When a master hits his dog with the newspaper, the dog is afraid of the paper, but doesn't know that the master himself is the one holding it with his arm. So, now we're not dogs or ants, of course. These are just stories, and we are above them because God gave us the ability of speaking spirits. We can pray to him, call out to him. We have a piece of God in us because he blew the breath of life into Adam. Whereas for the animals, when God created them, it does not say he blew into into them the breath of life. So King David says, he actually says, your rod and staff, they comfort me. Not just the staff that guides the sheep, but he says the rod as well, the rod that hits them, a rod that anyone can use to hit. David understood that it is out of love that the father chastises a child with a rod, right? He actually said the rod comforts him. This is powerful. In conclusion, Berachot 5a9 says, Rava, and some say Rav Hizda, said, if a person sees that suffering has befallen him, he should examine his actions. Generally, suffering comes from about as punishment for one's transgressions, as it is stated. We will search and examine our ways and return to God. Lamentations 3:40. If he examined his ways and found no transgression for which that suffering is appropriate, he may attribute his sufferings to the dereliction in the study of Torah. God punishes an individual for dereliction in the study of Torah in order to emphasize the gravity of the issue. As it is stated, happy is the man whom you punish, Lord, and teach out your law. Psalms 94:12. This verse teaches us that his suffering will cause him to return to God's law. Berachot 5:10 says, and if he did not attribute his suffering, or if he did attribute his sufferings to dereliction in the study of Torah, and did not find this to be so, he may be confident that these are afflictions of love. As it is stated, for whom the Lord loves, he rebukes, as he does a father the son in whom he delights. Proverbs 3:12. So let us take time to examine ourselves, examine our afflictions, our tribulations, and our possible sins. I mean, if we had a video that played out our whole day, all of our actions, and we watched the video, we'd probably be very surprised in how we acted. So let's focus on reflection. Keep your head up. Everything comes from Hashem. Ein od milvado and Yasher Koach. Have a good week.